Welcome to Mafia, a new podcast telling stories of America's criminal underworld.
Gotti assumed the position of head of the Gambino family.
And using the name Donnie Brasco, I was able to infiltrate the Bonanno crime family in New York City.
Bugsy Siegel is an American mob legend.
One man changed the whole texture and landscape of crime in America.
Listen to Mafia every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite shows.
This is adventure number one. This is the adventure of the shepherds and the thieves.
That's a weird labor guild. The shepherds and the thieves. Like, I found some falconers and rapists in a group. The falconers, you guys can just step out for a minute. I'm going to talk with everybody else. I'm going to minister.
It's the Union of the Shepherds and Thieves. Today's old business is sheep are hard to keep in one place. And again, who took my wallet?
God-awful movie.
Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema, because after the two screaming babies behind us on the plane on the fucking way out here, nothing seems unpleasant anymore. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and we're coming to you live from the only city that gave us the future the Jetsons promised. Say hello to the folks back home, Seattle. See, a lot of people don't know that the Space Needle and the Jetsons came out in the same year. I've been carrying that around for a long time. Never had a reason to mention it before. And, of course, joining me from stage right, ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to my good friend Heath Enwright. We're hoping for a sponsorship yet, so. How you doing, Heath?
Doing good. No,
you don't want a paper bag for that?
No.
Okay, all right. As long as you're good. Because, we can't have people getting crazy inebriated in the middle of our show. And, of course, joining me from stage left, please welcome my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Dude. Eli, what did... Don't encourage him. What did Andrew say about corporate logos on the show?
He said the sponsorship didn't go through.
Yeah, well, that meant not to wear the...
But you know what I did to a barista to get this?
We're trying not to talk about that publicly. Remember, not talking about that? All right. It's just not quite a show if you don't see Eli's ass. All I'm going to say is from where we're at, you can see a hell of a lot more. Imagine being our lawyer. That we legitimately, he gets calls from us at 1:30 in the morning where it's like, how much of Eli's ass can we show on stage?
You really haven't lived until you've heard a sleepy Andrew Torres say, as long as no reasonable person could expect to see your butthole. Go back to sleep, my 13-year-old son. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Fucking love my job. So tell us, Heath, what will we be breaking down today?
All right, we watched Journey to the Sky. It's the story of the guy who brought white God to South Asia, making it into the wonderful, thriving, not at all terrifying place that it is today.
Yeah, no, he fixed it.
Yeah.
He certainly fixed it. And Eli, how bad was this movie?
Well, if you love Jesus, even though you're a dirty savage, you will love this movie.
Before this show, we had to do a tech rehearsal where we just got this very nice gentleman that works for the theater standing here listening to us do that and going, wow, that's really what you're going to do at your show tonight, huh?
Some Seattle college student.
Yeah.
already writing his think piece about me.
All right, now, is there anything you guys want to nominate this one for being the best, being the worst at?
I'm going to say best worst, walking into random people's houses and asking for stuff. That's like how shit gets done in India. Like food, money,
Apparently.
jobs. Like it's just a dude fucking his wife. Somebody walks in. He's like, oh, hey, yeah, Eiffel Tower. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Here's my resume. If you want to check it out. Get a job like that.
Awful. There's like multiple times in this movie where people just show up at other people's houses with the most inappropriate of questions. Yeah. Does this look weird to you?
Yeah, man, you're from India. That's some kind of thing that the West hasn't seen for like 80 years. You should have clean water. That's what kills. Oh, that's true. You should go. You're not going to have a good time. I want you to have a good time. That was a test.
Yeah.
That was like a fire alarm for my vicious, vicious racism.
All I'm saying is this we haven't even reached
gone.
the Flint portion of the.
We lost someone.
So I'm hesitant to ask now, Eli. Do you have any best worsts?
Best worst bookend story.
Yes. Yes, and no, I should mention, okay, so the movie that we're doing, this is based on a true story, right? The true story of the guy who popularized Christianity in India. And by true story, I mean, these are all things this guy claimed happened. So, at the very least, it's based on a real lie.
Right.
Right?
But you couldn't just go straight into that story. That would be madness. What you need is two unrelated people from the same race whose problems will be introduced and then never solved. Or really dealt with, bookending the story in the most awkward, ham-fisted way humanly possible.
Yeah, no, I think you've nailed it. I also wanted to nominate it for best worst use of the word adventure. Because we constantly in this movie are told, like, this guy, Sundar Singh went out and had many great adventures, and then they'll show the adventure, and it's like he got hit in the head with a stick.
But not killed.
Yeah. Miraculously, he survived. Yes.
I want an Indiana Jones where he just gets the shit kicked out of him but doesn't die.
After that last one, so do I. Yes. All right, well, they told me just as I was walking out here that apparently this stage doesn't count as a legal place to smoke marijuana in this state, so I need a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to be breaking down all the prosaic adventures of Journey to the Sky.
Well?
No, absolutely not.
Jesus, dude.
What? It's for the show. Come on, get in the spirit.
Where did you even get red paint for that?
They have to sell it to you if you're over 18. Have to.
You cannot wear that on stage at the live show.
Come on, it's
no.
Okay, you didn't even let me get to the best part, but whatever. Come on, Jaggy.
He bought a Jaguar?
His name is Jaggy.
2 votes.
No. And we're back with you live from Seattle for the breakdown. And we're going to start this movie off by learning that Brian did the audio. Also, he did the everything else.
Yeah. The movie starts on a channel nobody paid for. Yeah. It's delightful.
Well, you saw what we were dealing with. Yeah. And as if the deafening room hiss wasn't enough to piss off the podcasters watching, we then cut to a sitar. The lovely and euphonious sounds of a sitar.
But is it a sitar or is it... Look, I know all the races can't invent music. Hear me out. I know that the black people, they invented all the good stuff and then they stopped. And the white people did all the classical... Because I don't like hip-hop. All the white people, they did all the pianos and the violins and stuff. That's all us. But then I feel like India was just like, they got the short straw. How do you know you're bad at a sitar? If you're sitting down with your sitar teacher, is he like...
No. It's... Are you... No. Just watch me. Watch me. Listen to what I'm doing.
I am so hungry right now. I feel like we really need to get the whole food and clean water thing. Also, I've seen a television. There's usually more than one string.
Hey, if you're really hungry, these aren't vegan, but
Can I get a piece of one of those?
Oh yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'll have to reach over though.
So nice. I flew across the country, got to watch them eat baked goods live on stage. If you guys are nice, later we'll brush our teeth. Go to bed.
So
I might stand up at one point. Take a wet, angry shit.
Glad to know you have it all planned out.
My tummy hurts.
My job is
Just
to
a
find a
gummy bear
way
shit?
back onto the subject from that, like constantly. That's pretty much how I live my life.
Speaking of wet, angry shit.
Bryce Blankeneagle's here, everybody. See? I got it. I did it.
I hope you guys are going to be too pissed if we never make it to the movie. But so we get the lovely sitar sound. We're still in the opening notes of this movie. So the sitar sound goes, and we're at someone's house having dinner, and a guy walks in to beg for money to the house.
This is the first of those just walking into random. He just like wedges himself on the couch between two people, and he's like, "Let me get some money." It's really weird. Grab some popcorn. They'll keep doing this.
But the guy, okay, so there's a guy who's kind of running him off, but that guy is acting like his girlfriend hasn't noticed this yet because he's shooing him off, but he's whisper shooing. He's like, "Why don't you go? Why don't you go? I'm not giving you money."
They're having a whisper. Him and the beggar are having a whisper fight in the corner. Can I talk to you in the kitchen, please? I thought you agreed you weren't going to come and beg today. Well, because Michelle's here and she hates beggars. Okay, did you cast a shadow on anybody? I'm not talking down to you. This is my normal voice. I'm not raising my voice. How could I be raising my voice? No one else can hear me. If you think I won't just have a fight with a beggar for 90 minutes with no intermission, I am my own wife style. 1990s Broadway deep cuts, thank you. Yeah, Tennessee Williams. Wow.
We could never get you
Who
through
here
a show
saw
without
Pillow Man with Edward Hogg?
So now we get the title of the movie.
This is the part you don't get to see at home. Aren't you glad you came out?
Now, I do want to point out, though, that the title, okay, this movie is Journey to the Sky, and it really does look like they had no idea as they started typing how many words there were going to be in the end.
Like a 9-year-old wrote a birthday card. Journey to the Sky.
Little tiny Y
You get it.
down on the side. Yeah, exactly. I also started my movie off with I started my notes off here with a series of music notes. My first one was that mean old dog's coming back for more.
And then this opera voice comes in. I wrote in my notes, this is what the lady from Fifth Element was doing before she hid jade eggs in her vagina for Bruce Willis. Because she's just like, ah! It's like the first time you do anal. Ah! In a haunted house, just, no, this is part of it. Welcome, kids. Ah! Do anal in a haunted house, people.
If there's one thing you take away from tonight's show.
Real quick, can I do a visual note for the movie, too? You had a
please,
music
please.
note. My visual note here was, I can't see what's happening, I can't see the movie. And as you saw, you can't see some of the... There's a lot of blur filters and darkness that they went with. It's very artistic.
Yeah, a tremendous amount of my visual notes for this movie are the same things soldiers say as they die. I didn't send them. I don't even pay taxes. It's impossible for me to have sent them. You're welcome.
So,
and I proudly stand up.
Meanwhile, back at the restaurant.
None of this is in the show.
So, okay, now here's the weird thing about this movie. The way it starts off, we get a beggar. He's begging for food, and they rush him off or whatever. And then the credits play, and they follow the beggar as the beggar walks away. So you assume this is a movie about the beggar. It's not. It's about the guy who shoot him off. So we go back to him. He's having a conversation with his girlfriend, and we're getting an inordinate amount of exposition for a story that's never going to fucking matter.
Or, yeah, none of it. None of it will matter. But we learn here that his father has died, and he has to drop out of college, and his girlfriend is comforting him.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, his girlfriend is the tiniest. She is. How would you physically describe this girlfriend?
Lucinda, if she was a mushroom.
Oh, all right. I had her as Brown Ari Stillman. Brownie Stillman.
So yeah, and she's telling him, like, you know, I sure wish your dad didn't die, and I sure wish that you didn't have to move away and drop out of school. And he's like, yeah, I wish for all kinds of shit, lady. Shut up.
Maybe we list the things we're not wishing for. It would be simpler.
We live in fucking India, yeah.
It's rough. Maybe we could just be more efficient if we said things.
I wish for not more people in this house.
I wish for medium cholera. It's acute. If it was medium, I feel like today would have been a better day when I had that job interview.
I don't wish for less clean water.
We have moved on to the Flint portion of the evening. So now he goes home. Where we're going to reinforce the whole dead dad thing, because when he gets home, mom is tending to the dead dad shrine.
But her way of tending to it,
yes, please,
is to put a Hawaiian lei around the picture. It's very festive. I want themed graves from now on, like a Christmas themed grave.
All right, yeah, with the little lights.
Boy, it's less expensive if you get a baby. They can't tell you can't have a baby coffin. You can just.
It's just like ordering from the kids menu. It's the same thing.
Do you think exactly?
Same thing.
Do you think if you have a baby and you order a regular size coffin, the guy has a moment where he wants the money but knows he should offer you a baby coffin?
It's just gonna be rattling around in there.
And you got one of the pallbearers takes a step and everyone just hears like shoom. Shoom. It's like one of those sticks you had as a kid, just go, ew. Ew. If you're in Texas and you got to do feces, it's like a rain stick. It's just half of Los Alamos in here.
No, I mean, that's the law in Texas now. Yeah. But it is. I didn't make the fucking law. I'm just
true thing.
Depressing you. I apologize.
We did, guy. We want to come out and tell you. We actually made that law in Texas. It was a prank war.
Trying to drum up business for scathing. You know what? It really piss him off. This will keep him downloading. By the way, Eli, why the fuck do we even do rehearsals? I swear.
I feel like it's really coming together. I have some hilarious surprises planned.
Please stop.
What surprise? What kind of surprises?
He's holding me hostage with this thing. Please don't.
He keeps.
This is a joke you'll literally never be exposed to because it wouldn't be funny.
Eli keeps threatening to propose to Heath's girlfriend on Heath's behalf, and don't tell her I said that. So now, Rachel, if you hear that, it's a joke. Heath doesn't particularly like you. He was very lonely after the wedding. And he told us he was going to do that. I thought,
guys, this two-man show is going to be weird.
He needed something stronger. I love he had other alcohol there just in case.
You need both. Sometimes you're backstage.
So anyway, our hero gets home, the mom putting the luau on the dead dad shrine, and she says, hey son, you just got a package from the girl from the last scene. And he's like, that's fucking weird. Why didn't she just give it to me in the last scene? And the movie's like, fuck if I know.
The movie becomes self-aware and she's like, oh, you know how Shadi is. She got Amazon Prime and she's just like, oh, why the fuck not? Free shipping. That's how they get you.
Heard your dad died. Here's a great book. It's Oedipus Rex. Check it out. Mom looks over. I'm into it. Cool.
Let me put on something romantic. I would feel entirely confident to do dueling sitars with the greatest sitar player in the world, as long as a non-sitar listener was the judge.
So,
Just some guy from South Carolina. You both did real good.
yeah, that's our surprise guest today.
Ravi Shankar.
Sundar Jungnyarla.
The inventor of the sitar.
So now it wasn't Oedipus Rex, unfortunately. The movie still, it could have gained me back at this point. But instead, it's this book about Sadhu Sundar Singh.
That's his actual name. Nice.
Yeah, no, that's the only time I'm going to get it right tonight. Now, the movie itself, I forgive you for not knowing this because of how fucking off the rails we've been from minute one, but the movie itself is going to be about this guy, right? About Sundar Singh and how he popularized Christianity in India. So the movie needs a clever way to get into it. Their idea for this is, here's a book about the thing this movie's going to be about.
Well, I wish that was how they got into it.
Right, yeah. No, that's the first attempt they're going to make at that, but it's not like he just reads the fucking book now.
That would be indelicate. This movie, far beyond that.
Yeah, right.
And the inscription to this is like, Dear, I do not understand this book. Maybe you will. Love, Shanti.
That's really it, too.
It's like Finnegan's Wake. But for us.
And then we get...
You made that a racial thing. I meant the two of them. Shame on you.
So...
Now you're included in Justin's think piece. I hope you're happy. His blog, scathing. It's also on Tumblr, just so you know. It's been retumbled 4 times. Oh, you didn't expect me to get really in there with the deep cuts of the Tumblr lingo.
So anyway, now we cut to a train. Actually, this is the weirdest fucking shot in the movie to me, because suddenly we see a train and then we're not. It's not establishing a shot with a train. No one is on this train.
We will never be on a train.
It's a jump scare.
It's just, yeah. Marquise Kilpatrick sees a train coming more quickly than this movie. Oh, Marquise Kilpatrick is a 13-year-old boy who was killed last month by a train. Marquise Kilpatrick, ladies and gentlemen. I just bring him out on puppet strings. His family needs the money. They went for the big coffin.
Jesus.
They shouldn't have. I told them, and they were like, get out of our home. It's the whole thing. I don't like to bring drama to the stage.
Or the planned lines or anything. So we see this train, and look, there's no reason for you not to think this is an establishing shot for something that's about to happen on a train. So we cut from that to a dude, like guitar guy at the party or whatever, playing I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. I should point out, these are the only white people we're going to see in this movie. I thought that was a little indelicate. The white Christmas. Come on, give me a break. That was racist.
He's getting interrupted by Heath's dad. There's just a drunk guy like, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. All white, if you know what I mean. It's my house, my rules.
I feel like this is like triggering, but good too. Like in a good way. Like it's a good drunk.
Because you got a bike.
It's like a fun alcohol. I did get a bike.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get a new Nintendo game after this rant, don't I?
Come here, buddy. You know Daddy loves you. You know Daddy loves you.
He didn't always talk like that. They had the strokes. So before that, he had a normal...
I thought that was an accent. Now I feel bad for the imitation I did of him. I thought he was Swedish.
He's a Phasian. Yeah, he's a Phasian. Is
that a fat Asian?
Oh, man, I thought that was really as low as the making fun of Heath's dad's stroke, the joke that was going to get, and then Eli made it racist somehow. You're amazing, dude. Oh. You are amazing.
You missed my backstage walking him down the aisle bit where we rolled him down the aisle. It was really... Because it's sudden.
Your dad listens to this show, doesn't he?
He lost a lot of oxygen to his brain. It was so funny. For a while.
Not as much as my dad. Story topped. Guys, my dad's alive. It's just a bit on the show. So he's not. He's dead. Don't worry. Imagine how tasteless that would be.
Yeah, that would be very tasteless. Good
Y'all are going to
call.
go home and Google, is it? I don't know what to believe.
I really shouldn't have eaten those brownies. I feel like I do a better job usually keeping you on track. So anyway, this white couple that we haven't met yet, they're decorating for Christmas. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door. The character from the beginning of the movie that is apparently the main character, whose name, by the way, I never kind of, but every time they said it, it sounded like they were saying Rumspringa. I know that's not what they were saying. I'm going to call him Rumspringa. So Rumspringa comes in the room, and he's just like, hey, people in this house, you guys hiring?
Drew, here's how this scene should have gone. Let me read it. Heath, will you do this with me?
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I'm the white guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Casting.
Do you remember me?
You just walked into our house. Vaguely.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's how it should go, yeah.
But instead, he's just like, I got one of your Vistaprint cards, and as you know, that is like a mob marker at this point in time. Give me employment.
But it just so happens that the day he showed up asking for work was Christmas Day.
Christmas.
So, right? So the drunk guy is fucking pissed. He's like, what is this, some kind of day of giving and charitability? Go fuck yourself, man. So they send him packing. I have to point this out too. While he's yelling at Rumspringa, they do this. This movie's very fond of like the spaghetti western speed zoom. You know, the shit's about to get real speed zoom. So they do that when he says, do you know what day it is? Christmas. It's amazing.
But it's so sloppy. It's like, I think they got the shot by just throwing a camera at that guy's face. And then they cut it when it was almost there. Because he was terrified.
There is a lot of head throwing in this. Isn't throwing at heads in this movie. Yeah, no, that would make perfect sense. So that night, they all go to bed at the jobless hostel. He's in... I feel so white guilty watching this movie. Is that like a hotel in India?
I don't know.
I don't know why I'm turning to you.
Right? I felt the same way. I was like, is this just a house? Is this a bad situation? Is this a palace? Is he going to be on a game show? Or ride a boat with a tiger? Or nothing else ever in the history of cinema? And everyone else in the little thing is yelling at him to turn out his light. He's got like a candle. He's trying to read the Sundar book. And they're like, turn out the light. And I feel like this is the easiest lights out in the history of the world. Because it's India. You blow out that candle. There's no fire for 25 miles around until the matches guy comes by next week. You're good.
Feel safe, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so everyone else in this little hostel is asking him to turn his light off, and eventually he gets so angry that he decides, okay, again, this movie is about the book that he is currently reading. The movie has a perfect excuse right now to go, what's this story about? And then go into that fucking story. But instead, he rips up the book and throws it away.
Makes no sense. The sound effect is absurd at this point, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brian was involved in this, too.
I feel like it was Brian's replacement on his first day. It was the sound guy, and they're like, dude, a book got ripped. And he was like, flips over the whole Foley table. And you just hear every sound he's got. Yeah.
Is a tambourine involved in this? In the sound of a tearing book?
And I love to, okay, so then, like, the next day, the idea here is we're supposed to get, like a montage of him not being able to get a job, but they only have one guy going, no job here for you, and that's it. And then he's just, like, dejected and giving up. Well, fuck, man, I went to that white guy's house and the Indian guy's house, and that's pretty much all there is in Bombay. I guess I have to move on. By the way, that was when the movie was made. It was Bombay. I'm not just that racist. I bring someone for that. So also because he couldn't get a job. Ladies and gentlemen,
Charles Murray! Also on puppet strings.
So we see that he can't get a job. We also see that he's getting kicked out of the jobless hostel for not having a job.
That's rough.
Yeah, no
Got kicked out of the homeless shelter. It's like, getting kicked out of the van down by the river by your roommate in the van down by the river. Dude, you owe me like a bunch of bags of dumpster bread. You're not going to catch up. Can't float you forever. This is weird. It's so awkward. I'm going to stay here.
So we get Rumspringa now, and he's walking down the street all dejectedly when all of a sudden Indian Gilligan happens upon him.
Or as I call him, Illigan. Which is also Gilligan's rap album.
Oh, yes. Exactly. It's his
So
second.
sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
No, I'm kidding.
Tale of a faithful ship.
So-
I'll do all of it. I was in a hospital for a while, and they only let you have like 3 shows.
Yeah, they really do. So now, this is clearly what's happening. Okay, if this situation plays out 9,999 out of 10,000 times, it's see. I'm just counting on the audience back home at this point. So.
I'm finished.
Okay, good. So anyway, the situation plays out very much like this guy that he just ran into wants to make a gay hooker out of him, right?
Right? Yeah, for those who saw this movie, that's totally what you expected, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
The guy's like, I think I have a job for you. Let's go into this dark room together. How's your gag reflex? What? Nothing?
But then no sex stuff happened.
No,
I feel like in that situation, I'd be offended that I didn't get, like, it's not that I want to get raped, but I'm saying, like what, all of a sudden I'm not attractive? Or, like, it's just a weird rejection.
Jeez. It's like being an altar boy that just served in the church and then left. You're just in the husky section looking at a mirror.
This is what brought down Milo.
How sexy can you make your Eucharist ass? Just. But it's not a gay hooker situation.
No, it's not. Thanks for that masterful transition, Eli. I need some help because I have brownies in me. So yeah, no, we don't get any gay porn. What we get instead is that this other character, Shashil is the character's name, thinks he might have a job for Rumspringa that they can go find out about tomorrow. But first, he starts rooting through Shashil's shit, and damned if he doesn't find that same book he ripped up the night before. It's amazing, right? I didn't believe it either.
Welcome to my experience of watching the movie.
Oh, yeah. So the guy says he's like, oh, that's an amazing book. It really changed my life. And Rumspringa's like, how did it change your life? He's like, so many ways. So it's changed all of it.
Basically, this is Catcher in the Rye for brown people, is what we're learning. It's like, oh, I love that book. Really? What do you love about it?
It's Catcher in the Pumpernickel. It's Catcher in the Pumpernickel. That's a type of bread that's brown.
Don't look.
No, yes.
Don't look. Stay with me.
All right, only 8 people were willing to clap for that joke, but man, were they willing to clap.
Catcher in the Pita?
So,
Catcher in the Samosa. Catcher in the Samosa played well.
This is not getting better.
Don't look. Their eyes are based on movement. Audiences are like T-Rexes.
So now, finally, I say finally, like we're 40 minutes into this show. We're like 13 minutes into the movie. It's only a 47-minute movie, for fuck's sake, but...
Are we 13 in?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, because this is the point where the movie starts, right? This is the part where he's like, now I will tell you the story of...
Did we really need the backstory for this?
No!
Like, the movie just starts with a guy telling a story and we all panic. Like, wait, hold on. who was he fucking right before this? Before he starts telling us, like, a stranger? Did we just guess that it was fucking?
And also, like, the story then is not told in a linear way, right? Because over and over again, we hear him say, from the time he was a young boy, it's like, the chronology in this fucking movie is Tralfamadorian. All right.
Kurt Vonnegut fans.
I like the three of you.
Woo.
The rest of you, you know. All right, so now we get the story of Sadhu Sundrench Singh, who is very religious, like, believe the shit out of those beliefs. And he attended a Christian school when he was a boy. He wasn't Christian, mind you. That was just the closest school.
Which kind of throws a wrench into this story, right? Like, if I were making this story up, and let's be real, someone was making this story up, I would be like, look, there's this guy, and he was totally a Sikh or a Muslim, whatever they are, and then one day he was just like, what if there was a guy named Jesus? Now that's a good story.
A better story, yeah.
Like when I eventually have kids and go back to Judaism because atheism's a phase and you outgrow it, it's not going to be as impressive. Thank you. It's not going to be as impressive. One mom who got brought here is like, fine, thank you. I didn't like the Eucharist joke, but I liked that one. And honey, you're going to just, so many tattoos. You have such pretty skin. Did you need a skull? When do you need a picture of a skull, hun? When were you like... Was someone like, oh no, is there a skull in the house? And you're like, right here on my tit. I'm so glad your father's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because I hated him. This is the 90-minute bit that Noah just like goes and gets a cigarette during. That you get to experience.
Yeah, actually, if you don't mind, I'll... no, I have brownies. I don't need to smoke.
So then his mom dies.
Yeah, so then his mom dies. Right before his 14th birthday. And apparently the tradition here is that when someone you love dies, you set them on fire and watch them burn until there's nothing left.
Well, I think she died by failing the witch test.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense.
She was a witch. Son of a bitch. Look at that.
Look at that.
So funny.
It makes it better.
And then after his mom died, he rebelled against the Christian faith. Which, when you think rebellious child, when you think like bad boy,
like rebelling against Christianity.
Yeah, what would you think would be like a cinematic exemplification of that?
You become Jewish. That would anger.
That's actually a pretty good answer.
I was going to say book fight.
Yes, there we go.
That's good.
Because that's his rebellion. We see him and his classmates having a book fight. And look, it doesn't matter, but if you don't watch these movies, you should watch just this one scene because the actors are doing the book fight, right? And the book fight, and then the teacher comes in and is like, stop having the book fight. But one extra throws one extra book and just nails this guy in the back of and he just goes down.
Yes.
And is not in the rest of the movie.
Well, and this movie has a couple of these bizarre levels of escalation, right? Like this movie starts off with, okay, so we're giving the bad boy montage. We go straight from they threw books around the classroom to throwing handfuls of cow shit into a church while people are praying. That is the next step.
And then from there,
burning a Old Testament.
Burning a New Testament.
Exactly, the worst thing you can do.
Which I feel like is not as bad. Like if we walk out of the theater and there's a protester and he's like, Burning Diatribes Volume 1, available now on Amazon.com. We'll be like, that's a weird way to plug the book.
I'm glad you didn't throw shit at us. Yeah, exactly.
I wanted them to bring in problem teen Jesus here. Show us a little bit of that. Him just like aggressively playing with a butterfly knife for no reason, or like scratching like INRI was here into a desk and getting in trouble.
I want to see Jesus play the knife game from Now that you mention it, that would be pretty sweet.
Talking back to Joseph, you know my real dad's God. My real dad killed all the Canaanites.
Go to your cross.
No! Take this cup from me.
So now our
Bleed from every pore.
That's in the Book of Mormon.
I hate
pretty
that
weird
book.
one. It explains the Shroud of Turin, I think. So now, okay, at this point, this is the point where he has this big conversion to Christianity, and it happens in the whiniest, bitchiest way, where he threatens to kill himself if God doesn't show himself and tell him which religion he is.
He pulls a suicidal girlfriend.
Yes! Yes, even in the same tone and everything.
God, if you are not here tonight, I die. And God's just checking his texts, and he's like, fuck. I don't want to reward this behavior, but I don't want a text from the EMTs tomorrow.
Can you mark that as unread? How do you mark it as unread? This is awkward if I can't do that.
Oh, she ended it with I love you. I love... Oh. I'm just going to report this post on Facebook. I'll let Zuckerberg deal with that.
So yeah, he has this amazing God, if you exist, send nudes moment. He threatens to throw himself in front of a train, but luckily for him, God does exist. God has heard his cries, and God chooses to appear before him in the form of
a laser pointer.
Yep.
I wanted it so badly to just be Teen Jesus. He takes it away. That really burned your corneas, just so you know. I'm going to ride my Razor scooter. It's attached to a Roman whip because it's a Razor scooter. Ooh, some Passion fans in the audience. Some crucifixion deep cuts. Kurt Vonnegut, crucifixion. Yeah, between the two of them, I kind of prefer Vonnegut, but hey, you know, to each his own. So he sees Jesus. Jesus comes up, and this is how literal this dumb fucking movie is. Like, I am Jesus. I am the light of the world. And it's like, oh, that's why he's a light. Anyway, and then you half expected the character to go, I thought that was metaphorical. I don't think that's it. And then, but at any rate, so Jesus wanders off, and he wakes his dad up. He's like, Dad, I just saw Jesus. And Dad reacts exactly like I would, minus the fucks. Dad's like, oh, you lost your mind. Go to sleep.
I feel like his dad was right there, and he's just like, fuck. My stupid kid's going to commit suicide. All right, light a candle behind a yellow blanket.
I am Jesus. Practicing my white voice. I got to point out, by the way, it gets worse later, but Jesus has the whitest voice you can possibly imagine in this movie. So now news spreads quickly all over town about how Sadhu suffering Succotash saw Jesus. And his dad freaked out. His brothers openly persecuted him for that.
Just like a montage of the brothers being like, happy holidays.
Oh! Wait, what color cup are you drinking out of?
Oh, red, motherfucker.
Oh!
Red cup.
Hey, look at these
Happy
two
holidays.
gay people you've never met getting married.
Oh! What if I asked them to make me a cake? Nailed it.
So Dad was a good man, it's the movie says, but he was a little freaked out about the Christianity thing, so he devised a plan to unchristian his son. So one of you guys might need this eventually. One of your kids goes the Jesus way, so I'm gonna throw it out here for you. This did not work for Sundar's dad, but that's not to say it wouldn't work for you. He writes to him while he's in college. He says, you have to come home quick. I'm dying. Also, I've ordered you a wife and arranged a marriage for you.
And I have a Jewish mother. That's pretty standard out of the playbook. I don't want you to bother yourself. But I'm dying. And I ordered you a wife.
Hey, you have a Jewish mom. It's amazing.
What's happening?
He's constantly telling you he's dying, and he's trying to set you up with a wife. I'm surprised that I was the first to notice that.
Heath is so afraid of that joke that all of the bits now are just, what, guys?
I don't like you. Stop what you're doing.
Stop.
We had this. This was the 15 minutes backstage before the show. I may just be like, please don't. Please don't.
While I inserted underwear into my butt.
When we have the most serious conversation. Anyway, so
Serious and great.
Sadhu Sampump Singh refuses to be Christian, and his dad disowns him. And it says too, it's like this movie so often contradicts itself. So it says like, so Sundar set out into the unknown to a friend of his house that he'd been to many times before, who said, if your dad ever kicks you out of the house, you can sleep here. Okay.
And he gets into the friend's house and he immediately collapses because
he's been poisoned.
He's been poisoned by his brothers. Now, I really want to see that scene, just like, hey, you guys have been really mean to me lately, but is this my cupcake? Okay. Well, you guys keep watching.
He's doing it. Nothing.
This is a very Christian thing of me to do.
So, I had no idea how long this would take to eat. I was figuring I'd go through that by now.
So now we...
I'm still digesting. Please, go ahead.
So now we jump out of the narrative because God knows, 10 minutes inside the story, we all need a fucking break. Am I right?
Well, I love too, because Room Spring is all worried, right? He's like Fred Savage going, wait, did she get eaten by the shrieking eels or what? Because he's like, wait, he laid down. What happened? And the brother's like, well, there was a deadly poison. He's like, so he died? Like, why the fuck would I be telling you this story if he died, man?
Yeah, he died.
He just fucking died. Go to bed. No. He's like, no, he didn't fucking die. It was a miracle. It was so miraculous, in fact, that the doctor that treated him became a Christian on the spot.
And I feel like that guy had a weird week, right?
Just a weird job altogether, yeah.
Just goes home from work. He's like, gets his doctor bag and his dot. And then he comes home and he doesn't have the dot. And he's like, guess what happened today? We're Christian now. I'm not sure how much changes for you.
So now we get, okay, so first of all, now Shashiel has to explain to him. He's like, yeah, it's such an amazing story. We'll tell you the rest of it later on in the movie. He says, but, it's a very important story to me. He says, after the Bible, Sundar Singh's story is the most influential in my life.
Third is the red fern grows. Fourth is the giver. Oh, you only read the books from school? No. Sixth is Romeo and Juliet.
That's so weird to me because my list is all erratic Who's the Boss fan fiction.
Oh.
So like
where we finally
5.
find out who the boss is.
That's such a sexist name for that show. It's obvious who the fucking boss was. It was Judith Light. Duh. Why the fuck was that even a question?
I was born in 1987.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Let's hear it for wanting to fuck Alyssa Milano when we were kids, huh? See?
Let's hear it for wanting to fuck Amanda Bynes when you were a kid. Let's hear it for one and then stopping because you felt like she really had some stuff going on, but now that she's back, you feel like it'd be okay, but you're also not sure if she has hepatitis because like that stuff doesn't leave your system. A lot of hepatitis cautious people here in Seattle, and I'm glad to hear it.
The amazing thing is he does that at every show, but this is the only time I'm going to leave it in because it really fit in this time.
Thank you.
So you kept saying eventually it was going to fit.
Don't wear condoms.
So now I know
there's someone in this row who I really want to meet. She's hated the movie with me. She's anti-condom. We are locked right in.
Whatever you do, don't turn up the house lights. So now I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. It's probably Heath's girlfriend right there. So I'm sorry. Heath's girl to whom he doesn't have like labels.
You don't like labels. You guys are Seattle. You get it. It's a big mishmash.
I know a lot of you are thinking to yourself, we know a lot about Christianity, but how does it affect your comb selling integrity? And we've watched 99 fucking movies trying to find the answer to that question. We finally did. Apparently it helps. It's very helpful. Because we now cut to a scene where Shashil has gotten Rumspringa that job, and apparently the job is like hard selling 13-cent plastic combs in a drugstore. Yes.
Rather gross. And what's weird about it is we all worked in retail, and you can't lie unless it's a magic trick, let me tell you. Because he's like, they're unbreakable. And the guy, he's the Indian James Randi, he's just like, fuck me, right? Yeah.
I don't understand. Is that an issue with combs that they break in half? Do you need to stop?
You got a very aggressive response to that. One audience member was like, yes! Finally! Just stage rushes the stage. Finally, I get to talk about this. I have my book out in the lobby. It's called The Breakable Comb.
I love that the fucking bald guy's like, do combs break? What do they do? What are all those little teeth for anyway? So, yes, they do. So they walk out. So first we see a Rumspringa trying to sell the combs, and he's like, this comb will blow you if you whistle at it. And the guy's like, no, it won't. And then the other guy's like, this is a very good comb. And the guy's like, yeah, I'll buy a gross. A gross!
144
combs!
Retail comb. Well, I do not understand the economy in India. What the fuck is happening?
From the looks of it,
start a band, you put little wax paper through it. And
from the looks of it, neither do people in India. What, they're doing a great job.
But this Christian guy's just like jumping up and down next to like a glass of red wine and selling a Combs sacrament wine. Oh, it's magic.
Look, man, you don't actually forget it after you said it. It's just a line that we use. So basically they wander outside and he's like, man, how could I be such a good comb salesman like you are? He's like, you got to be more Christian. He's like, I knew it. It's my evil Hindu ways. He's like, it is your evil Hindu ways. So he's like, if only I knew more about Sadhu Sabada Babada Singh, then I could be Christian. And he's like, it's funny you should ask. We had a flashback. So now we literally that is what we've jumped out of the story for. I shit you not. We only jumped out of the story to see which one of these two characters could sell combs better, in case you were wondering. And now we go back to the actual story of the story, which is where Sadhu Sabado Hagante Singh had to go to, where did he go? Like, I know the Ganges River. No. Oh, yeah. This is the part where he realized that he didn't want American Jesus. He wanted Indian Jesus.
Yeah, which is immediately followed by the whitest Jesus voice imaginable.
Yes!
He's in the woods praying. He's like, God, I need to figure out how to make all the white people care about you. And that's what their heads are like. Is that not what their heads are like? You wouldn't have gotten the joke if their heads are... I'll do a thing that doesn't make sense. See, that's not a joke. That's a joke.
No, it's not.
They get it. So he's like, I need to figure out, and then we get Mitt Romney as the voiceover, just like, hey there, Sandhu.
The Jerry's are pushing into Poland. It was like a World War II announcer all of a sudden.
Hitler pushes forward.
They're talking about your Jesus. Yeah, bad guy. Also, okay, so Jesus talks to him in his whitest possible voice, and then the movie says he set out on the most humble of all ministries, bragging about your humility as a thing. And it also says that he was the top-ranked Christian minister,
what the fuck,
like for fantasy purposes.
Where's that rankings board? What are they doing? Just a bunch of racist white guys with a brown guy at the top. It's a weird. It's like a PGA Tour board 15 years ago. It's a weird.
Or boxing 30 years ago.
Yeah, yes. Or the Olympics 45 years ago. Yeah, no, we can keep going back. All the people, he became Christian and he started ministering to everybody, and all the people loved him. And the movie literally says wherever he goes, it was all joy and happiness, and the people loved him. And then it shows people shoving him and throwing shit at him. It says, except those guys. Pretty much everybody else, though. Also, there's this obvious, they're like so clearly like vamping for time at this point because they go, he loved the cities and the villages and the countryside. Fuck, that's only 20 minutes. And the townships, the hamlets, the unincorporated municipalities. Fuck. Anybody got a thesaurus?
Should have read this movie out of a hat. Banging against the sides.
Oh, I see.
So that's what their heads do.
I don't, honestly, you don't even have to explain it. Honestly, you could just do that for the next half hour. I think we'd be good. So this is where he realizes that he needs to carry the gospel all the way into forbidden Tibet. This is also where we learned his nickname. They called him the Apostle of the Bleeding Feet and the Burning Heart.
Just about to burst. There's a quest for answers on unquenchable thirst. Just say out the whole thing. If you're going to do the burning Survivor, it's important.
I feel like we needed to shorten that. I actually went for an acronym of it. It comes up to Ayat Bafatba.
That's good.
So the Ayat Bafatba, I think is way better. Although the bleeding feet does sound kind of metal. So now we skip ahead. Up until this point, he's been like a young adult. He had like a Bryce Blankenagel beard. Now he's gone full.
Hey, Bryce Blankenagel.
He's gone full
Looks
Morgan
like an upside
beard.
down Donald Trump. His neck's too long for his body.
Did you volunteer for the roast, Bryce? Are you okay with that? Good.
This is a deep cut about how much I like Bryce, but it's never been on the show. And we've been joking about it so much this week in preparing for the episode that now this is when you all hear about it.
So Eli's literally coming up to me and saying, oh, what we should do is we should invite Bryce up and like pretend like he's going to be a guest. But then when he comes up, I'll just push him off the stage and throw something at him. And I'm like, no one will get this joke but you, Eli. And he's like, but I'll get it and it'll be fucking funny.
I'll enjoy it.
So
why is it always about them? I say that a lot.
That he does.
So now we learn
Thank you.
about his first of his many great adventures.
Oh, for fuck's sake. They literally say, like he had all these amazing adventures almost beyond belief. This is adventure number 1. This is the adventure of the shepherds and the thieves.
Okay, just real quick. That's a weird labor guild. The shepherds and the thieves. Like I found some falconers and rapists in a group. The falconers, you guys can just step out for a minute. I'm going to talk with everybody else. I'm going to minister.
It's the union of the shepherds and thieves. Today's old business is sheep are hard to keep in one place. And again, who took my wallet? We will be addressing item 2 first.
No questions asked. Everybody close their eyes.
Including the sheep.
Yeah, we have some falconers and rapists coming in later. They're going to need anonymity.
They have the space at 8.
Last night was fun.
And so they had us on the one side. They had the falconers and the rapists on the other. Everybody who was at Platinum Night gets that. So if you don't get that joke, it's because you didn't come to fucking Platinum Night. You can't blame me for that. So yeah, there we go. So by the way, and this is, they sell this as his big adventure. And this is literally what happens. He's sitting by a campfire one night. Someone hits him in the head with a stick. And later he wakes up.
Adventure cut.
That's it. But they keep saying but for some reason they didn't kill him. Miracle. No, I mean, everyone I've ever met didn't kill me. That's not a fucking, there's a couple of them where it's a fucking miracle, but mostly it's not a miracle.
That was a large baby on that airplane. It was close.
Where?
Maybe it was
if you didn't already look like a giant baby so much, that would not be as funny. But you totally do.
Where?
This was 6 hours of our lives. Just a baby Eli with an Ed Hardy shirt right behind Noah.
Can you imagine how bad it is to have this body? I live inside this. It's like carrying a mattress all the time.
This is a weird cast, Brad. We've gotten really complicated with these at this point.
I fit in a box too. On my birthday.
Year back. In case you didn't catch it, that was a suicide joke, people. I don't encourage him. So
who here wants me to kill us?
Everyone from this section has to go. I'm sorry. I'm making a lot of money off this guy. So
Twitter's here, everybody.
I was so nervous. Eli said he's had to read his notes off his phone. I'm like, you're going to be fighting with Peter Boghossian all goddamn night, aren't you? So, okay, so this... I gave him an idea.
Since you mentioned him.
So anyway, he's on his adventure trying to head over the Himalayas to Tibet, but a bunch of people hit him with a stick, so he comes back. And I love the way the movie says this, like, he kept going over the mountains, but no matter what would happen, he would always come back to India because he loved it so much. It had nothing to do with the fact that he was pussing out every time somebody threw a rock at his head.
And speaking of rocks being thrown at his head.
Oh my God.
We now get to one of my favorite scenes. We actually pulled this clip for you guys.
This is so amazing.
Can we show this clip of him getting hit in the face with a rock?
Oh, here it is. No, is that it?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, this is amazing. And react.
Okay.
So he occasionally got hit by one of those delayed reaction unconscious rocks. Oh! It's amazing. I love that scene so much.
And the transition out of this is, okay, so not all the people liked him, but all the animals did, and I wanted so badly for it to cut to a scene of a monkey just hucking a rock, and it just... a lizard just...
And I love this bit, too, because they hint around at something that apparently really happened to this guy that they don't talk about in the movie. Because they say something about how he says he realized that people couldn't have their Christianity, or that people in India didn't need their Christianity out of a Western cup, but an Eastern bowl, you see. So, yeah, I could use a bowl, too, but I mean, that has nothing to do with this. But what really happened, what brought this guy to this realization is that he was on a train one time and an Indian holy man passed out from dehydration or started to freak out or whatever. And so some Western guy comes up and says, here, have some water. And the guy's like, no, I can only drink out of my holy bowl because I'm a holy man. And the guy's like, well, you're fucking crazy then, never mind. And this guy's reaction was, yeah, we need to put Christianity in one of those bowls, don't we? Not like we need to learn to drink out of whatever fucking receptacle has water in it when we're dying of thirst. We're going to need more of them bowls.
We're going to learn to water bend the blood of Christ into people's mouths in a karate uniform.
Makes you wonder how IVs work in India. They started one of those charity things at the Science Museum. Just wait for it. And he died of shock. We got to start doing this stuff in cups. I was always bad at those, and I would just slide the penny down the side. I don't understand how science works. I will defund this museum when I grow up. I will. I'll take your museums away from you. If I want to learn about science, I'll pay someone to teach me.
He won't pay anyone to teach him.
I don't want to learn about science.
So now it's time for a "But damn, did the animals respect his Christianity" montage. So we have this whole thing about how it eventually admits so the people didn't much care for him, but the elephants though, woo! They were like, man, he is so pious.
The only people they couldn't interview.
Yeah, right.
Just one of those documentary shots making a murderer. Actually, he was an asshole. Also, this is where we get this amazing fucking shot. I love this so much.
where they have to show that like him taming a leopard in the wild, but they're not going to get this actor any closer to a leopard than like the same continent. So we keep seeing like leopard, human, leopard, all like both walking towards each other.
Different seasons.
Different times of day. It's not even close.
Yes.
And then they zoom in on, it's not even a leopard anymore. It's like Noah's cat. It's like a close-up of Noah's cat and a white guy's hand. Just
Right.
Yes.
With Sharpie on it, just like, no.
Look at my butthole.
Look at my butthole.
So with the knowledge that it can never get as good as the jaguar leopard petting scene again, we're going to pause for a quick break. But first, give Act 3 the hard sell. Should I have stopped at 2 brownies, you think?
Let me get.
Do the blood vessels in my ears sound loud to you guys too? What the fuck were we just talking about? Find out the answers to these questions and more when we return for the Heat Just Kinda Dies conclusion of Journey to the Sky.
I have this hilarious story to tell you guys. Maybe. Who likes pranks? Well, Bryce might have got me good. We're all going to find out together.
All I said was that the brownies were vegan. You were supposed to assume there was weed in them, bro.
I did not. See, our dear friend Bryce made some brownies. And in them, he said, Eli friendly. And Eli loves brownies. So I'm a big fat person. Remember when I took my shirt off to be the baby? And then...
Oh, Jesus Christ, look at how many of those you ate.
And then...
Oh, my God, dude.
And then he told Noah, watch out for the ones with the holes in them. This one has a hole in it. But I don't know how many of those had holes in them. And the human doesn't smoke weed as often as the character.
I'm so happy.
So we gotta hurry this shit the fuck up.
Yeah.
And if anyone sees Bryce Blankenagel, kill him. This is gonna be interesting.
We have... Oh, the fact that we're about 4 minutes after the intermission and we haven't started yet, that tells me a lot of those had holes in them. That's my guess.
Let me ask you a question. Is it salty in here? My muscles feel great. That's how I wanted to spend my weekend. It's fine. Go!
We're on a time limit all of a sudden. All right.
It's like Batman stopping to talk to Commissioner Gordon when the bomb's on the fucking plane. Shoot him a fucking text. P.S. I'm Bruce Wayne. I can hear my heart.
You sure you want me to go? You need a minute?
And we're back for more of this shit. Seattle hasn't given up on us yet.
There we go. Now, when we last left our hero, his fame was spreading across India, which you could tell by how many people threw shit at him everywhere he went. This is where he travels the world to give everyone his wisdom. He goes to England. He goes to America. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the world.
He got some huge audiences. He's like Dave Rubin of the Sikhs. All of a sudden, he's crushing it.
And the answers to the questions he gives in this little Q&A section are marvelous because they reveal so much how racist the questions have been. All of the answers are this. No, my friend, I have never eaten human flesh.
That's the whole theme of the thing, right? So they keep showing you the answers without letting you know what the questions are. And guess the question is amazing. In this, he's like, oh, every answer starts with, oh, you dick.
Like he's
then the answer will
explaining,
be
like he's explaining Battlestar Galactica to me at Comic-Con. Like, that's not how the universe, that doesn't even make any sense.
So yeah, like, and all his answers are stuff like, no, these are actually the clothes I wear on purpose, you see. And one of them was actually, I shit you not, the last answer he gives is, I have met people in India that are every bit as nice as Western people. So that's literally like okay, what was the fucking question? And also, why was he hedging his bets? Because basically all he said was the best people in India are as good as the average people here. Seemed weird. I mean, it seems like something Eli would say, but I mean, anyway. This is their movie. So we close out this montage of him being wise, and we move on to him praying that God will stop letting people be dumb enough to disagree with him.
We get another face zoom, too.
Yeah.
And this time he flinches. They definitely threw the camera at him. He was like, and when the face...
No, not after the rock scene, Ahmed. Eyes on you. Seek and ye shall find.
Yeah.
Puns while high? Yeah! That's how much faster my brain works. I'm Keats. I'm fucking Keats. I'm gonna put a hole right here, out here, September 26th.
Jesus Christ.
Shouldn't have given me drugs. Don't blame me for anything that happens. Act 2 onward.
So
This
Morgan,
isn't
just if you're on the 0-second delay there if need be. So he comes back to India because fuck America and England and everything. They only had so much money to shoot there. Actually, they didn't shoot there at all. They just used like still shots of Big Ben and shit with him talking over top of him. It was amazing. So he decides he's still got to go to Tibet. So he climbs the Himalayas over and over again. I feel like you could do that once. I don't know. But it's during this time that he has his greatest adventures. So this is where we get adventure number 2. There are 3, I guess, adventures in this movie. In this adventure, he was thrown into prison for being not in prison, I guess. And in the prison was a guy in need of a Ricola.
Yeah, he's coughing like Morgan, our sound guy. Just
if you hang out with Morgan a lot, that's much funnier.
He's very coffee.
So
short.
So
check him out on the way out. It's like he's not short enough that you're like, oh, does he got a thing? But he's short enough that you're like, look at that little dude. Like you feel like you can say whatever you want because what's he gonna do? Fight you?
I feel like tonight he could fight you. I'm just throwing that out.
He has mastery of space and time. Probably can also feel his lips.
I can feel your lips.
If I asked to chew you after the show, I apologize.
So you normally don't apologize, so that's good. That's good. We should give you weed more often. So he's in this prison. There's this guy coughing, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give this motherfucker a blanket. I mean, I'm the only one in this prison with a fucking blanket, so it sort of seems like the least I could do. And all the prison guards are so freaked out. They're like, man, why'd you give the guy the blanket? He goes, Christian. That's why. And so all the prison guards became Christian. Now, of course, this pissed off like the ruling people or whatever, who decided to cart him off to the market to get tortured. And they say, they're like, yeah, he got tortured for a long time, but boy, could he take it. And he didn't react at all. And I'm like, I'm watching him react.
And he's supposed to be being lashed, but he's in a paddling position. And he's really into it. He's just like, and he's just eyeing the camera, and you're like, this was not a punishment for anybody. Everybody was on board. They were next to us at the Platinum Night.
So he was apparently so good at being tortured that they decided to let him go. Thinking perhaps that he was a god, according to the narrator.
Which, to be fair, that is all the Christian God is known for, is getting tortured.
That's true. That's true, and giving you the ability to sell combs really well.
Winning the 0 for flinching game. That's what Jesus is known for. All right, we'll let him go.
So now he finally gets to Tibet, where he immediately makes friends. And the first scene we see is this guy with this little girl on his lap being super touchy. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? That is why Eli scaled a mountain to get to Tibet as well.
That's right. What do you think happened to the little llama? In the 1990s, they tried to replace the Dalai Lama with a child, and the Chinese government killed that child.
No, they...
That's what that's a reference to.
It's not illegal for us to pretend that. Yeah, no, you're good.
Is that kid alive? Ladies and gentlemen, the little llama! He just comes out, but he's all G.G. Allen'd out because no one's heard of him in a while. And just
It's...
needles hanging off him. Spits on you.
Oh,
would you let the Dalai Lama spit in your mouth? Just for the story.
The kind of shit that occurs to Eli when he's high. So...
TikTok.
I would. I would.
Thank you. 2 votes. Check out our new podcast.
Spitting.
Drink and spit with Heath. Drink and spit. I bet you Audible will fucking sponsor that one.
We'll find out, yeah. So now, according to the movie, resistance stiffened against his witness. I only say that because that is such a sexy sounding sentence. Resistance stiffened against his witness. But it's okay. His friends had his back. Every time someone would roll him in a rug down a hill, they would pick him up.
It's the dumbest punishment.
Right?
It's a rug toboggan. It looks fun.
Yes!
He's just like, wee, rug toboggan. Like, how? I don't understand. It's a weird punishment.
Yes, his persecution in this movie is less traumatic than me trying out for Little League. It's like, honestly, at a certain point you thought...
To be fair, that was last week.
Get the fuck out of my way!
Home run, fucker.
Well, I still feel like they shouldn't have rolled me down that fucking rug in that hill. Hill in that rug in that... I don't feel like they drugs in the hill either.
You guys are talking weird in the time dimension. Where do you think you are?
So, also, this is another...
Has anyone seen Bryce? Keep going. Don't worry. I'm fine.
Yeah, no, we'll be...
Pit of death. Bring it in, Noah. Try to speed up the metabolism. Pit of death. Snakes and shit.
Yeah, why the fuck not? So, in another one of these amazing...
That was not going to work out.
No.
I'm really trying not to convey how terribly that went for the inside.
Why don't you breathe for us, Eli? So anyway, in another
Remember
case
when
of
he
this...
vomited at the live show? I've got to tell you, honey, I didn't like the joke. And then I liked the joke about changing back. And then he threw up. This is a radio show you listen to?
All right, so if we don't do the Q&A, it's all Bryce's fault. I just want to point that out.
Some scotch? Yeah, absolutely. Let's mix it up. No.
Yeah, do you have some barbiturates to go with that? Jesus. All right, so now we get another case of, like, breakneck escalation in this movie, because here's the tortures we've seen so far. They hit him with a stick. They roll him down a hill.
Put him in a refrigerator box.
Yeah, right. And then they throw him into the pit of death. That's the next fucking step, is pit of death. Now, I should say, pit of death doesn't really live up to the billing. No one dies.
Just a hole.
It's just a hole.
Could be the well of death.
Or it could just be the well of underground.
It has light fixtures.
Right.
The pit of death. They were like fluorescent or track.
We've all lived in Manhattan apartments, so we probably have a different approach to the pit of death than most people. I was like, ooh, no shared bathroom.
Yeah. Hello.
If it's not in Brooklyn, I'm in.
Well, I love that they're like, oh, look how evil and disgusting it is. There's rats in here. I'm like, we have those in this theater. No, I'm kidding. They don't have rats in this theater. They have mice. Little mice. But they're adorable, so it's okay.
Some fans of Amanda Bynes and mice in our audience tonight.
What is Amanda Bynes doing with the mice? Explain that one to me.
Cooking rum and with...
So,
would you drink Amanda Bynes' spit?
Okay, so we're moving...
If the Dalai Lama promised you could fuck him afterwards. So he's in the pit of death.
There's
rats in there, snakes.
Just chilling.
And they're like, they're not doing anything. They're like at the end of a shift. They're like, I got cut and I'm not taking more tables. I already cashed out.
He's taking the stools down from the tables. Can I sit here?
Nope. Nope.
You guys are doing dessert still, right?
We're absolutely not doing any of that.
Woo!
You can see we cleaned off the... Nope.
Thank God it's Friday,
Please
right?
leave.
Thank God.
So he thanks God for putting him in the pit of death. He explains to God that he's a real big fan of suffering, for Jesus and everything. But he points out, he's like, but if I die in this pit, gotta stop suffering. So
Jesus rescues him.
Yes, Jesus does rescue him. Speaking of Jesus, I don't know if you guys realize, but he is joining us today. Right from the very back.
Oh, there's a red dot. Okay.
Yeah. No, if you saw the movie, that's like...
But for the rescue scene, he gets this rope lowered down, right?
Yes.
And the plan was obviously to shoot this actor being lifted via rope. But it doesn't work.
No.
Because we see like 3 seconds of him like, ow, 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 ow. Cuts away. He's at the top of the pit. He's just like angrily staring off camera.
What's supposed to be happening? Does the pit of death have an end time? It's like a new guy who's just like, oh, do I lower it? And then you bring me... Yeah, all right.
I felt
bring
like...
me out.
Fuck, it was just supposed to be the lotion on that, wasn't it? God damn it. I'm gonna
Can
get
you
fired.
lotion while you're up here?
No, we'll do it later. Well,
I don't want to get...
I'll leave the lotion here.
I'll get in the pit.
And I'll go back down after. You just bring me up. We'll do the lotion after.
I'll take you to the pit of lotion.
Cool. Wait, hold on. How many square feet in the pit of lotion?
That sounds like a pretty awesome pit, actually. Yeah. I could use that. All right. So he gets pulled up to the top of the pit of death. And he says, and he looked around to thank whoever had rescued him, but no one was there. It must have been Jesus.
And this is the best clip of the entire film. We have the explanation here.
Oh, yeah. Let me set this one up real quick. So he escapes from the pit of death, doesn't know how he got out. He's pretty convinced Jesus did it. And then the guards catch him later, and they take him before the Lama. And they tell him, they say to him, how did you get out of the pit of death? And he says, because God is like, whoa. And then we get this explanation of how impossible this could be. And Becca, if you don't mind, we've got a lovely clip here of my favorite line in the history of film.
There was only one key and only one key.
Also, 2 keys.
They showed you 2 keys. There was only 1 key, and also this other 1 key over here.
Did they not have the budget to take the second key off? Some guy, they didn't have time to pay him to be like, oh, that's 2.
Fuck
and
you,
we're
man.
going to say it twice for no reason that it's 1.
I'm not losing one of my keys for your fucking movie. Real quick, has anyone seen Bryce? Oh, he's here. Nope. All right.
By the way, that was Bryce just telling you no. I can. So
quick question. the vegan ones. They're good? All right. Well, this is just who I am then. That's upsetting.
So
That's weird, right? You guys haven't been living my internal life, but I've just been like, make it through the show for the people. That's just who I am. Go on.
The running was just what he wanted to do with himself. So, oh wait, are we doing prophecy?
Yep. The three of us are now going to perch on our chairs. If you push Heath off his chair, you can have all of my Patreon money for the next 12 years. Because he'll die.
I can have all of his too then. Awesome.
Everybody wins. So he gets out of the pit of death, and now we have the weirdest ending to a movie. I can't move. We have the weirdest ending to a movie. This is what my legs are like forever now. We have the weirdest ending to a movie ever, because he's like, I made it out of the pit of death. And then in 1929, he went back to the Himalayas, and, well, it's now, and nobody's seen him lately. And they try to put a positive spin behind, like, his body got eaten by dogs to perhaps his mission completed. He was allowed to complete his...
Yeah, it all kind of, like, that's how you know you've got a masterfully written movie. When it all just kind of comes together like that.
And the story within a story, we're about to wrap it.
Oh, yeah, no, so here's the thing. Okay, so
you guys forgot about that. Don't pretend you didn't forget about the story within a story.
So now you may be thinking to yourself, wow, that's kind of disappointing. Is the end of this movie actually just, and then he went off in the mountains and probably died or something? But it's actually even more bizarre than that, because yes, now we have to go back to Shashil telling this story to Rumspringa. And Rumspringa's trying to be nice. He's like, no, that was a great story, man. I did not expect that ending, I guess. And he's like, every word of it is true. And he's like, yeah, because you don't even know what the fuck happened. Like you would be lying to me about you not knowing what the fuck happened. So he's like, you and I, though, we couldn't live our lives like that. We just aren't Christian enough, are we?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Come check this out. You see that nice house?
So Shashil takes him to he's like, I have to show you something before you go. And they go to this big house, which by standards in India, it's like me and Heath's place, basically. But it's this giant house by their standards.
Just a box fort.
Made of combs.
Some Comey once. Comey 2012.
So,
remember how quickly we forgot about that guy with child soldiers? Yeah, you forgot too.
And now Eli's brought it up so you can remember it again. When you had the brownie excuse, everything made more sense.
This is just who I am.
Yeah. So now Rumspringa, he sees the house and he goes, oh my God, is that your house that you were kicked out of for being so Christian? And the guy in Shashil goes, that's exactly it. It's like, how the fuck did you know?
I'm a Christian now too.
Yeah. I also want to not be able to live in a house that big. What?
And movie.
Literally, that's the end of the movie. Yeah.
Hooray, Eli made it all the way through. I didn't win the bet, but that's okay. So, obviously, watching this shithole of a movie was the worst thing about our trip to Seattle. It was close to not being, though, if Eli had eaten the wrong brownies. So I want you to imagine a world, though, where this was not the worst thing that happened to us. And I want you to tell the audience what you think would have had to happen on this trip in order for this movie to be the second worst thing that happened to us.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say if Noah murdered 2 babies on the plane, but did not get away with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that would have definitely sucked more.
Babies are the worst.
I'm gonna go with you go across the country and away from your wife for a night, and one of your comedy partners is like, I got this really funny bit where I'll pretend to eat pot brownies, and then the guy who brings the brownies also brings vegan ones for you, and you're starving, so you eat half a plate and they're filled with narcotics. and then you can't see anything but your own pupils for the rest of the night, and you're just praying that they're laughing with you, not at you.
You think that would have been a bad experience?
That would have been worse. Or brunch with Rachel's friend. You guys weren't there, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, I think she is here, though, so, like... All right, so normally we don't do this bit during the live shows, but it just so happens that this episode that we're recording right now is episode 99. We have a very special movie. This is a movie that we've been holding on to for a long time. So just to be official, while that does it for our review of Journey to the Sky, that's not going to do it for the episode just yet, because we still need to get you excited about the 3-digit episode. So Eli, tell us, what's on deck?
Bible Man!
We are very, very excited about Bible Man.
Everybody saw Noah just do a heil right now, right?
That was not a heil. I was flying like Bible Man.
We're trying to get some of those Twitter frogs back on our side. What's the deal with gender studies? I would like $47,000 a month on Patreon.
That was the trans guy, not the gender studies.
They're all the same. Fearful white men. Every generation has one, and they never get punished. Unless we band together. Ooh, I have a great way to wrap this up. We're all gonna go. Never mind.
So with that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 99 to a merciful close. Once again, huge thanks to our audio engineer, Morgan Clark, came across 4 fucking time zones to help us out today. Big round of applause for Morgan. Also, want to offer a big thanks to Becca and Justin with the Broadway Performance Hall for all their help tonight. And I want to offer an especially huge thanks. I think he's somewhere in this area. George from the Seattle Atheist did an incredible job, helped us out so much today, this entire weekend. This entire show would have not been possible without him. George, thank you so much. I think you're somewhere in this area. If you're not, then, George, thank you so much.
George!
Yeah, big round of applause for George. Literally, we could not have done this without him. Also want to thank all the voters in Washington State for your awesome laws. And a thanks to all of you for coming out tonight. And on that note, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Paul Ryan saw a woman's shoulder and went into a frenzy of uncontrollable sexual violence. Read the newspaper. That really happened.
I wonder what Lucinda will talk about this week. Yeah. Rumspringa went on to be a very successful comb salesman.
Eli took an Uber immediately to the hotel and spent the rest of the weekend staring at the veins in his hands.
Thank you so much, Seattle.
Hi, you must be Heath and Eli.
Hello.
Hi.
Really excited to show you the place. I know you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep, 3 bedrooms, an office, and ta-da!
What's that?
It's a pit of death.
I'm sorry, a pit of death?
Yeah, in case any Christians come by, you can just throw them in there, and it ain't called the pit of death for nothing.
Oh, that's convenient, I guess.
Neat.
How many entrances does it have?
Just the one.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's perfect. You don't want people sneaking out the back.
That is so important with a pit of death, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how many keys?
Just the one.
And?
Just the one.
We'll take it. Ooh, a snake!
The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle and a Thunderstorm, LLC, copyright 2017, all rights reserved.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Here are a few quick divorce tips we provide our clients. One of the mistakes that guys often make in divorce is that they move out of the house simply because their wife told them to. And often this is a mistake because it means that their wife is in a position to be the sole parent of the kids. It means that the guy has surrendered possession of assets potentially. They're often records they leave behind. This is an important decision, and guys shouldn't make it simply because their wife has pointed toward the door.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives, which includes protecting men's financial means to do so. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Francisco area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 650-389-1111. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in San Francisco, San Mateo, and San Jose. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Kimberly Llewellyn, licensed in California.